You know, I think that I was looking at replays to cast, and just to kind of, for my own practice and see if it works out. I realized there was a lot of Renie replays, so I just decided to do a majority of them. I did see some of these. I don't entirely remember them, but I remember most of the matches being pretty good. So here we have Apocalypse in our same tournament as before. This time he selected Kala. Basically the Protoss is a dirty Zerg and a Covenant, so that's fine. Looks like you only need to pick 3 though, if I recall correctly, unless the rules change. But rules were kind of lame this tournament, I thought. Whatever the case may be. That pylon going down here at the ramp. So nothing too cheeky by the looks of it going on. Sometimes it seems like it scrolls really fast. I don't know. And then Renie here got infested, as we have seen him do a few times. The kind of overpowered guess, I will never die to anything because infested commanders poop on everything with creep build. Probably into an expansion, I'm going to guess. So, pretty basic start. Really what we're going to see here is the Kala going to use some gas and get some tech there. See which direction that really goes. See what I mean, it's obviously going to be a cybernetics core, I imagine. And it looks like, I think that's a Wallen, but I'm not sure. The scout going out. And Renie just spreading creep still. I presume no tech buildings here until we actually see the expansion. Yeah. Just a moment. I'm going to slow down my keyboard scroll speed so it's a little easier. There. Oh, that's a little slow. Oh, that's a little slow. But it's easier on the eyes, right? You don't want to get motion sickness or anything. But you also want to actually be able to scroll, maybe? There we go. That's a good speed. It's kind of slow, but not so fast or easy to a spectator view, right? Not that I really ever use the arrow keys to scroll. So we'll see what happens with this probe here. Yeah, sometimes I notice Renie uses his broodmother as like a block. So this probe's gonna see, you just went gas and the roach warren is kind of slow, so to speak. I mean, really, the economic boost probably outweighs the slower tech in almost every situation, I'd imagine, but whatever. So it looks like it's not a completely tight wall in here. And a forge? I was going to say, that's a little strange. You wouldn't necessarily expect that. Yep, stay with the expansion. The sooner this expansion comes out, the faster that stasis energy can work to really help hold off potential aggression. Just again, still spreading creep. Nothing too crazy. And what tech is Renie going for? Where is his brood mother? Or host. Oh, there it is, in its cocoon. I was gonna say, I wonder if it's level 2, and it looks like it definitely is almost done. This, I would think this level 2 upgrade's pretty quick. Infested can really get out there tier 2 tech, like, super fast. Interesting note, with the Infested, they actually have the most efficient economy because their workers don't need to go build buildings. They just work forever. So, eggs, going for an egg wall on the ramp. Pretty good. Terran do that too, but Infested can do it as well. So, nothing too cheeky going on either player. The quick legs, so I guess he's planning on the zealots, and it looks like a forge as well. Probably going to get that ground weapons. Color pretty tough, so getting those ground weapons is, always a nice investment to get an early +1. It's not too much of an investment to get the forge and a +1, plus you might also end up needing some cannons, against air defense or, in the front, if that needs to be the case. Perhaps not here, If Renie did go for like a big attack, it would be. But I think Apocalypse kind of saw that there was some more expansion and infested commanders, which, while really good at defending, don't necessarily do too well against Zealots off creep due to the lack of a speed move. I was going to say bonus and buff, but I said boof. But I guess boof could just be a cute way of saying buff, so that's fine. Let's see, double gas here taken for Renie. No third gas. And a very quick level 3 Broodmother. I wonder, does he have any tech buildings? Just the infestation, which is what you need to make the Broodmother level 3. Okay, he's going for the gas. And what now? I'm curious to see what he's going to do with this quick level 3 tech. Seems like he's just spreading creep, really. And Apocalypse, those speed legs, or leg speed rather. Okay, they're done in the +1 soon. Renie with his scrutinizer is going to see this and adding a few gateways, so not necessarily committing to a time push where you, oh, that's a Temple Archives. Okay, so 3 gateways and a Temple Archives. I'm completing the egg cluster wall. And what tech did he go with here? Okay, the Soaring Roost and the Plague Boil. Okay. So I guess some air units we're probably going to see. Ah, and here's the vaunted, I better just make a bunch of fucking units real quick kind of thing that, you know, Zerg tend to do. Infested especially, they'll just kind of have this period where they don't do anything, and then upon seeing, you know, having a threat, they make those units and defend with the bare minimum to kind of maximize their economy. So Roach is in front with a fair portion of that gas there being committed to some of the infested Terrans, just kind of hang out behind the Roaches, add a little damage. So this is a pretty quick push, again the +1 and the leg speed coming out. Going behind the eggs for a wall, it definitely is helping, so those ranged units, and Roaches are still ranged, you know, getting out of this around. Looks like Renie made a wall. I think, yeah, you can walk through this though, but a good flank whenever those units do come out. So infested commanders, especially on creep, you know, they do kind of just stop a lot of early aggression. Not exactly the greatest combat units once upgrades and, like, you know, bigger groups and storm and stuff start coming in, but they are pretty good to support Roaches. You know, Roaches only have 2 range. Commanders have, you know, 6, so they can definitely stay behind those Roaches, and the Roaches just big ball of health and that 1 armor. So we'll see here if if Apocalypse here can hold this. I think he can, especially if the sentries get in there and actually start healing. You know, 10 damage with the Zealot armor is going to be 3 reduction, so that Guardian Shield is making these units survive. A good fungal growth there by Renie, but the sentries got away, which is kind of the main thing that I think wants to stay around here. If you had to pick one unit to stay alive, you definitely are going to want the sentries to hold out, if anything. A nice stasis there. Again, he's going to have enough energy for a second one whenever it comes out, and it does take 75, so hopefully he can use that as soon as he... Yep, there you go. Good. Very good. Not a lot of units. I think those speed zeals maybe need to come back. Sonic Storm is not done yet. Yes, it is. That's the amulet upgrade, of course. What I meant to say was the High Templars aren't done yet. I don't see any out yet. So it looks like he is going to lose his second, and Renie is already on his third, so this is looking pretty grim. Unless... yeah... I mean, he could stasis, but what would that really do at this point? Renie just kind of coming in with a lot of Roaches here. Kala didn't seem to... I think that with Kala not necessarily getting a very fast expansion, it's very easy to get, like, out-microed, or out-macroed, I should say. And where's that storm? Here we go. So there is going to be 2 storms, so I predict, yeah, on the ramp. That's good. Ooh, there we go. See, that's a very good defensive situation to be in on the ramp, you know. It's a shame he didn't have that at this ramp. That would have definitely let him do what he needed to do. And now this Wallon kind of working against him. Not very good for defending against ranged units using your Wallon against you. But I think he's going to hold this. Yeah, Renie trying to save his forces, pull out. There was a lot of attack by Renie. He did just kind of make a bunch of stuff. You could see this. Despite having a 4th base, it actually has no workers. His 3rd doesn't have the gas, so it has good worker saturation. Natural, maxed out basically. and main also maxed out here. So three good mining bases for sure. And he kind of punched the Protoss in the face, didn't attack here. Just went up and fought him. I would say if Apocalypse could maybe like double expand here, really get that economy started. Assuming he doesn't die, of course. That's always the thing. Sometimes you can just sort of die, which is like the ultimate form of economic winning. You just sort of kill them. So these zealots, there's not a lot of army left actually. There's something here. Ooh, broodlords. That will definitely do well to like holding off the zealots, but the zealots will be able to move. Here's hoping that he can, kill some of these roaches and then also snipe this. So this does keep Apocalypse at a 3 base against 2 base situation. Not a lot to deal with these broodlords in the air, but it should be fine. Again, I think maybe Apocalypse should have considered double expanding to kind of catch up and just stop making units and just double expand. He does have a +2 weapons, so that's nice. Oh, he's still actually fighting. I'm really surprised to see this. I'm sorry, I didn't look. It's a little surprising to see him still fighting since he is behind, but maybe he just feels as though he has to kind of go for some form of attack, I think that attack was maybe a little too aggressive considering Renie's position, but Apocalypse might not have seen, as an observer we have the entirety of the map at our disposal, so maybe not the greatest time to do an attack, but the broodlords are very good at holding positions defensively, but have a hard time kind of getting out there, getting into position to attack. So I suspect, it is the 3 base against 2, which is usually manageable for the 2 baser, and depending on the matchup, and I think it's really difficult to know that data with Heptacraft being the way it is. But let's see here. A lot of units coming out, more roaches. Renie does have pretty decent economy here. Kind of winning on all fronts, especially with the army. I suspect with these roaches in front of these broodlords, there's not going to be much to do. Interesting thing to note with, if there was a double expand, he could have potentially had 12 workers on both of them at this point. I think that would have paid off for it. We do have a fight here. A lot of storms coming out, kind of dissuading a lot of the Templar maybe going a little too forward there, I would say. Might have wanted to keep those back, maybe didn't notice, or was worried about was really bloodthirsty trying to get those good storms on the broodlords. But these dragoons are very liable for getting surrounded. A bit unfortunate here that those storms didn't, or the Templar didn't at least stay alive to either make the Archons or just survive and run away and get enough energy to storm another day, especially since he was upgrading the Templar Storm. Let's see here. Renie just looking for cheeky little expansions. That's good. It seems like, going through this back area could be potential, but this high ground, I don't know. It's difficult to say. I do think the double expanding. Looks like we actually had some form of harass happening here. I think a lot of not a lot of workers, but some definitely killed here, so that's good. Again, looks like Renie just looking around for little cheeky expansions, right? Making sure there's nothing going on here. More speed zeals. Is still at +2, so you're working on that +3. He is, that's good. At least the weapons and the hit and run tactics with speed zeals can be pretty good. He seems to, he's queuing up, looking around. Ooh, this does not look good. Seems like he's probably screwed either way, no matter where he runs, but the Zeals definitely have a lot of work to do. Probably not going to get too much to kill some roaches, right? Now the 3rd base is coming up. Again, I think that double expand might have given him a little more money, but who's to say? I think with the supply counts being what they are right now, this match is very likely over. I mean, a few really good storms could do it, but there's not much of not many core units left to kind of handle this anymore. Those zealots over there fighting. It'd be nice if they were here to hold the ramp, maybe with a good stasis or two, maybe, especially on the broodlords and brood host. Might have been able to get something done, but it doesn't seem like there's much left. And the Nats here, just really covering all his bases, right? Just in case something pops out, other than Corsairs. trying to keep the Broodlords here. The Brood Host is capable of like killing a million Corsairs because Corsairs can't really attack downwards, but might not be able to protect the Brood Host in time, or not the Brood Host, but the Broodlord. So it looks like the game is over. Just seemed like he wasn't able to recover after that kind of first initial strike. Maybe the double expand, maybe not, I don't know. Could have cut up, but Renie was mining off of 4 bases here. Having a 3 base on 4 base would have been manageable, but 2 on 4 for that long, not so much. Renie really pulling through with the Broodlords. Broodlords? Kind of get them confused, Broodlord, Brood Host. Definitely that first attack kind of crippling. Shame he wasn't able to hold right away, but without a really fast expander way to be aggressive against Infested, I feel Kala can have some trouble unless they fast expand with like a Pylon Forge. But I'm going to move on to the next game. I know some of these games, especially this next one, was a really long game. I didn't manage to catch it all on the stream, but I get the feeling it was pretty good from what I saw off and on. So looking forward to that. I guess I will see you there, or not.